Today we are looking at the acted out problem solving strategy within the messy space framework. I'm going to start by reading the sample question. Place 14 blocks in 3 piles. The first pile should have one less than the third. The third pile should have twice as many as the second, and how many blocks are in each pile? Let's look at phase 1. What do I already know? I know that there are going to be 3 piles and there's going to be 14 blocks altogether. I know that the first pile is going to have one less than the third. And I know that the third pile is going to be double the second. What do I need to know? I want to know how many blocks in each pile. Let's look at phase 2, our messy space, where we are acting it out. Now in this chance, I'm going to act it out using the Apple Pen. The reason we use act it out is when there are problems that are hard to visualize, and it makes sense to act it out and give it a go if you can. Helps you experience problems and discover strategies that will eventually lead to a solution. We also could do this through manipulating concrete objects to mimic the actions and solution within the problem. So I'm going to go through and demonstrate this method for you. So I've got 14 blocks in 3 piles, and the first one has to have one less than the third. So let's say we've got, go through and write the piles. Our first pile, our second pile, and our third pile. Okay, so the first pile is going to have one less than the third. So let's say we have 4 in the first pile. Actually, we need to have double. Let's say 6 in the first pile. So the third pile has got to have, first pile has to have one less than the third. So let's say 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, there's 14 blocks altogether. So the first pile is one less than the third, and the second pile has to be half the size of the third. Half of 7 is 3.5, I guess. So we've got 6, 3.5, and 7. So that is really quite large and gives us a total of 16.5. So we're quite off here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it all by 1. Let's see what happens here. Let's go with third pile of 5. And the first pile is one less than the third, which would give us 4. So we have 4 in our first pile and we have 5 in our third pile. Our second pile should be half the size of our third pile, which would be 2.5. So we have 4, 2.5, and 5. 9, which is 11.5. So we've gone too small here. So let's do it again. I'm going to add 1 on here for 5. Add another 1 on the third pile because it's 1 extra. And then half of the third pile is 3. Let's see how we go here. 5, 3, and 6. 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 6 equals 14. Now I believe that we have found our solution, but we need to go through and check it. So the first pile has 5, the second pile has 3, and the third pile has 6. We need to put it against the information above. So the third pile is going to have one more than the first, which is correct. And the second pile should have half the size of the third pile, which is also correct. So our answer is reasonable and can be justified. So the answer would be first pile has 5, whereas the second pile has 3, and the third pile has 6 blocks. And that is how you use the problem-solving strategy acted out within the messy space framework.